They've been banged up all season, but the Islanders activated Casey Cizikas off long-term injured reserve, and they're back to a healthy lineup just in time to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight at UBS Arena. So let's bring in Islanders beat reporter Ethan Sears to preview that matchup and get all the latest. Ethan, thank you so much for jumping on today. I know it's not a massive sample size, just 5 games so far, but what have you seen change under Patrick Waugh, and do you think he's moving this team in the right direction?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much for having me, Emma, Kate. And anytime you have a coaching change, you're gonna see an impact from that new voice, and certainly that's been the case with the Islanders. Patrick Watt, he's been putting much more of a focus on possessing the puck, on generating offense. He doesn't want the Islanders to be sitting back. His line that he's used, he says he wants them to be a good defensive team, but not a defensive team. So right away, you've kind of seen that shift in the way they play. And I think that will help them because we've seen often this year when they're holding a lead, the Islanders have hung back, they've retreated into a little bit of a shell and just tried to kind of protect leads and win games, 2-1, 3-2. And a lot of times this year that's backfired on them. Patrick Waugh doesn't want them doing that anymore. He's trying to get them to play much more of an offensive game, and I think that the players have really liked that. They've really taken to this style. They like what he's preaching. So, I do think that he has it going in the right direction right now.
All right, and you wrote that Waugh said it's playoff hockey from here on out. They're aggressive. It doesn't sound like this is a team who's thinking about selling ahead of the NHL Trade Deadline, which is just under a month away. So where does this team need to get stronger, and who are some players you think the organization could be eyeing, prior to March 8th?
Yeah, well, certainly you're right that they're not looking to sell. The Islanders are going to be a little bit limited by the salary cap as they head toward March 8th. They don't have that much room to work with, and they don't really have any kind of bigger contracts that look like they're tradable. So I wouldn't really expect a sort of blockbuster deal like with Bo Horvat last year, but I do think that they could look to maybe bolster some areas, especially their bottom six. Guys like maybe an Anthony Duclair, former Ranger, he's now with the Sharks, could make sense. Alexander Barabanov, also from the Sharks. Peyton Krebs of the Sabres is another name who maybe could be worth watching out for. Pie in the sky, somebody like Frank Vatrano would probably be perfect for this team. But the Rangers, who Vatrano played for a couple years ago at the deadline, maybe might make a little bit more sense there. But I'm looking at kind of wingers who could slide into that bottom six, maybe add some scoring depth to this team as guys who maybe they could target.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that. And in terms of tonight, the Islanders will take on the Lightning, and they're now without Mikhail Sergachev after that nasty collision with Alexei Lafreniere last night. How can the Islanders contain the Lightning's offense, which is led by Nikita Kucherov, who currently has the most points in the NHL?
Well, first of all, staying out of the penalty box. Tampa, thanks in large part to Kucherov, they've got the best power play in the league. The Islanders dead last on the penalty kill. So the best thing to mitigate that advantage is to not commit penalties, not give them any chances on the power play. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but a big point of emphasis tonight. Otherwise, the Islanders do get the lucky break of not seeing Andrei Vasilevsky after he played last night at the Garden. It'll be Jonas Johansson in net for the Lightning tonight. So testing out the backup goalie early and trying to kind of build it and take an advantage there, that'll be a big part of this one for them.
All right, Waugh & Co. looking for another win tonight at UBS. Ethan, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, EmmaKate.